Hello, my name is Stephen Lieberman. I'm one of the founding partners in the law firm of Lieberman and Taramina. I'm also one of the co-owners of the Artemis Defense Institute. We're located in Lake Forest in Southern California. Many of you have seen some of the videos that I've done for the USCCA YouTube channel. A couple of years ago, USCCA came to me and asked me if I would be willing to do videos on legislation, on current court cases and how they're progressing through the court system, and to talk about constitutional law. This video is very different from the ones that I normally do. In this video, I'm speaking to you directly, and I'm asking you to vote. We have an election coming up right now in just a couple of weeks, and this election is critically important for the direction of our country. Now, all elections are important, and this one is no different, but this election has something unique attached to it. You need to vote. Now, I say that you need to vote not simply because it is a civic right, and in fact, you will oftentimes hear people say that it is a civil right to be able to engage in the voting process, and it is, of course, a civil right. But more importantly, it is a responsibility. Every single United States citizen has a responsibility. In fact, actually, I will go so far as to say they have a moral mandate. They must vote. We are engaged in an experiment here in the United States. This country was founded on the principles of limited government and the maximization of individual liberty. This concept, this underlying philosophical concept, was very, very different from anything that had existed at any time in human history. There have been democracies before, but this was different. You need to understand that the United States started off not as a nation. We started off as individual states that have come together as a nation. And the cultural connection that binds us is the United States Constitution. Every 4 years, we have a grand referendum. We vote for a president of the United States. Now, in that election, there are also several other elections that are equally as important. Many people that exercise their Second Amendment right to bear arms are usually focused on who's running for the presidency of the United States. And we understand that whoever ultimately wins the presidency has the ability to appoint justices to the Supreme Court, as well as other justices at lower courts. Whoever controls the presidency to a large extent is going to be able to control their legacy by appointing, through lifetime appointments, all these judges to all these various courts. And these court cases, like the very famous one we've talked about in several videos, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, was largely dependent on the justices that the President of the United States had appointed to that court. But for 3 specific justices, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Justice Kavanaugh, we very likely would not have a New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin decision that we could use to challenge unconstitutional gun control laws. So whoever sits in the Oval Office really does impact not just the direction of the United States, but at a more granular level, who is going to be litigating cases that can directly affect our rights. It also translates down to the state level as well. A number of states will focus on developing legislation that seeks to restrict our rights. This is important to understand. Most people just focus on what's happening at the national level, but at the local level and the state level, there's equally politicians that seek to infringe our rights. And as a voter, you have one opportunity to be able to hold those people at bay. It's not enough to simply complain about what the government does. This is your opportunity to actually get involved and to really affect change. If it is your mindset to help us return ourselves to a constitutionally originalist idea, we encourage you to participate in this grand experiment of limited government. And the way that you can do so is to exercise your right to vote. Now, USCCA has developed a unique website. It's called the USCCA Action Fund. In fact, their website is called usccaactionfund.org. And I highly encourage you to visit that website before Election Day. It could show you a ton of information about candidates that are aligned with our feelings as it relates to the Second Amendment. It can show you some of the important issues that are currently in play. Regardless of whether you visit the website directly or you study different people like me on YouTube, by all means, make sure that on Election Day, your voice is heard. Thank you for watching this video. As always, train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.